Okay, got a Saturday morning walk-in box call. Let's head out there and see what we got. Calling this little walk-in freezer. Now we're gonna start out here and see what's going on. Unit's not running. Let's see what we get into here. Pretty obvious. Compressor kickback on and no condenser fan motor. So our condenser fan motor is probably dead and it's sitting out here cycling off the high head switch. So let's turn that off. And see if that guy's locked up. I'll sometimes like to get the screwdriver on there and just see if it's locked up. Yeah, it is. Should probably be hot as a pistol. Yep. Alright, let's take this one apart. So you just go ahead and get the mounting bolts out on the fan guard and the motor's attached to it. You get it out of there. So let's get into this thing. I think it's 5/16 on the top, and then it's yeah, it'll be 7/16 down here. You'll have to get a wrench on it because you'll see the pipes are in the way. So it's always fun getting these ones out of there. Let's go ahead and take them all apart here. And once you get all the bolts out, undo your wire flex. Get your flex out. You can try and bend angle this guy out of there. Get him out. And then there it is. This is a A.O. Smith Tecumseh motor, 1/20th horsepower. And I might have a replacement motor on my truck that might work for this, like a 1336 motor. We'll see if it'll fit on there and work. And it's easy to spin that little fan blade. Let's see what we got. On getting this fan blade out. Look, we got a couple of friends, petrified friends. Okay. Get your fan blade off, then it's like 4/4 inch little bolts on there. I usually just use a nut driver and zip them off of there. You could use your impact driver if you want. Just freaking mow this stuff. Loosen up, zip them right out of there, and then I'll try this other motor. I think that 1336 motor will fit right in there and work just fine, same horsepower. And we'll take a look at the amp draw on it. What was the amps this one was pushing? 1.1 amps. Okay, let's see this motor I got. I think it's gonna work. If the mounting will line up. It's the H.V.A.C motor. Yeah, 1/20th horsepower, 1.1 amps, 208, 230, 1550 RPMs. And it's a H.V.A.C D471 for those Tecumseh condenser units. Yeah, 1500 RPMs. 1500/1300, so we're good. Okay, that's what our new motor looks like compared to the old one. But we're going to be right in there. So let's get it on there, and the mounting's right here on this one. It'll fit right on there. Let's get it all back together. So there's the motor. I got the leads going off to the side. That's the top. Fits right on there. Comes with some mounting nuts. And we'll get it all back together here. When you get that old fan lamp, you know it's good and dirty. So you knew this was going to happen. rubber on it too. Where's that at? Oh yeah, over here. Get the scrubbing. Oh, that looks a lot better. There we go. Little happy fan. I know this one here, when I took it apart, I noticed there was a little run back in the day where they actually went with the star connector set screws instead of the Allens. That gets challenging sometimes. Okay, there it is. Drop the camera. Motor's mounted, props all cleaned up and washed. Got our flex connector cover back on there. Now we can go mount this thing. Okay, so I'm ready for the reinstall, but since we got this fan off of there, let's go ahead and get some coil cleaner in there and wash this thing out. I normally wash them out backwards. There's nothing wrong with that in my opinion on these little refrigeration units. But if we got it wide open, let's go ahead and wash it out supposedly the correct way. Side looks like. We'll get it all, see if we can get it shined up and good and get the coil cleaned out on it while we're here. Got some glue on that side, and then we got some on this side. I'll go get the pump sprayer. We'll wash it out. Yeah, I was actually able to get the garden hose up there and wash both coils out. I got the neighbor too, and this guy's a happy camper now. So let's get that motor put back in. Okay, so you got it bolted all back in. It's all back together, it's wired up. Before we turn it on, let's make sure it freewheels. So it's freewheeling. So we want to check that compressor. If you just change out the condenser fan motor and then stick your hand on the suction line and go, I'm out of here, I mean, it can bite you. So what we'll do is we'll get it up and running, gauge up on it, and then we'll just pump it down. We want to pump it down and see it shut off and make sure it's not bleeding back past the valves. And then we also want to make sure that it's operating correctly. So let's get into that. Let's go ahead and hit the switch and we'll start it back on its cooling mode. Okay, our unit's up and running. We're gauged up on it. It's been running for a little bit. There's the amp draw of our condenser fan motor. We know we're good for 1.1 amps. So we're not over amping our motor. The top line is our amps, 1.05. Here's our pressures on our compressor. 109 condensing, minus 12 H.V.A.C. We're on a freezer. Coming around, looking good. Now I just wanted to do a pump down on it, make sure it shuts off, check my suction pressure control, and listen to see if the valves are bleeding back by. So let's give that a try here. Just get it right here at the suction service valve. I had to put the cap back on the receiver valve when I gauged up. The packing's a little bit of a leaker. That valve needs to be replaced. This one too is all pitted from the unit flooding back. Let's see what happens here when we get her closed off on our suction side. Almost there. Here it comes. So, looks like we pumped down and we're holding. I don't hear it hissing or whistling. Let's turn this other unit off. Now it's sitting there solid. Okay. Let's start it back up. So I just wanted to show you that. You just want to check a couple things when you do your condenser fan motor changeouts. You just don't change the motor and split. Because the last thing you want to do on a Saturday is have to come back. So that's going to wrap it up for this one. Okay, one last thing to check. The old sight glass. Make sure your charge is full. And then that's going to do it on this guy. She's all back together.